If you've ever wished for a way to bring more calm, connection, and joy into your home, today's guest has built a toolkit to help you do just that. We're talking with Karen Green, a professor, mental health expert, and creator of Conscious Care Cards. She's on a mission to help heal 1 million kids by empowering parents to own their own impact. I'm Tom.
And I'm Jeannie. We're siblings on a mission to help kids become their strongest selves. Each episode, we share proven strategies with parents, teachers, and coaches to build resilient, confident kids who can tackle life's challenges and thrive. Welcome to the Raising Resilient Kids podcast. Tom, I am very excited for this week's guest because I actually have a connection to them, and we actually both have a little bit of a connection. So a very good friend of mine who I worked with for many, many years at the Ellen DeGeneres show, his name is Ross Williams. He reached out to me. He heard about the things that we're doing, and he told me about his very good friend named Karen, who's doing things that are in the realm of what we do. Ross is from the suburbs of Chicago, where we're from. And so is Karen. So I'm like, okay, not only is she doing these amazing things, but she's also a good old Midwesterner. So I'm like, we have to have her on the podcast. So let me tell you a little bit about Karen. She is a tenured professor, a mental health expert, and the creator of Conscious Care Cards, which come out today, November 1st. It's a science-backed parenting tool that helps families build connection, resilience, and emotional intelligence through simple, mindful rituals. With over 25 years in mental health and 16 years working directly with children and families, Karen has become a trusted voice in bridging research and real-life parenting. She blends her expertise in neuroscience, attachment theory, and mindfulness to remind parents that healing doesn't just happen in therapy. It happens in the loving, everyday moments of family life. She believes that parents are on a hero's journey. I agree with that. And with the proper guidance, they can become their child's primary healer. She was recognized with the Distinguished Teaching Award and the Unsung Hero Award, honors that reflect her lifelong commitment to compassion and her unwavering belief that sharing mental health wisdom and prioritizing children's emotional wellness can truly change the world. Karen has this incredible, inspiring, and moving mission that I'm so excited to share with all of you, and you're going to learn about it later in our interview. Hi, Karen. Hi, fellow Midwesterner.
Hi, Jeannie and Tom. I love raising resilient kids. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, you have been doing that for 25 years. Can't you just feel the Midwestern energy between all of us?
Can. It has nothing to do with our twang and our A's, right?
Nothing at all. So Karen, tell us a little bit about yourself. What led you to your career as a specialist in mental health?
So I would say that my journey happened long before I earned the degrees. When I was 15, my mother died. She had struggled with cancer for 3 years. And I remember going back to school that first week, and most of the teachers, adults and kids, just basically acted like nothing had happened. And I was like unmoored, as you'd believe, as you imagine. And I was in English class, and a friendly looking woman asked me over and took me into her office. I had never been to therapy before. I had never even really known what counseling was.
Sure.
She sat down and she gave me her presence, and I felt it immediately. And I thought of her as like one of the bravest people and one of the bravest adults, because she not only asked how I was feeling, but she very much leaned in and wanted to understand. And it was 50 minutes, and I'm sure there were, theories she used and therapeutic skills she used, but I walked away from that meeting just feeling like a sense of a taproot. Like she really heard me, she teased me, and she wasn't scared to really lean into this terrible feelings I'm having right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it gave me like this sense of courage that initiated this spark inside of me. If Donna Gotson is watching, thank you, Donna, for changing my life. But she's also a Midwesterner, right? But the connection heals the brain. We know that. And so I just wanted to dedicate my life to connecting in like an authentic way. Before the neuroscience, before any of the mindfulness research, it was like I sensed it. And then I decided that I was going to make space for children's hearts, because We want to keep children's hearts open and resilient and connected. And all that they need is an attuned adult. They have research in Finland that says it's just 40 seconds can be healing for the brain. 40
Wow.
seconds. So that's why it's like minutes, truly just minutes being authentic and connected and truly wanting to know about your child's emotional world is brave. And so, yeah, that's why I decided to become a master's in social work and work in schools, and then now be the director of an associate's program teaching my students how to be therapists and counselors.
How incredible for you to take a tragedy that could have gone one direction and just that one person
Yes.
changed not only that moment in your life, but your life, the trajectory of your life.
My whole life. And, you know, so many students that I ask, why did you join this associate's program? Why do you want to become a counselor? I would say 90% of them, it's because of one person showing kindness, one person showing like mindful presence and really sitting with them in a moment of, you know, crisis and being brave enough to just sit there with an open heart.
So you're the creator of Conscious Care Cards, which I just learned launched today, November 1st.
Yeah.
How exciting. So Conscious Care Cards, congratulations. Show them off to everybody who's watching. Gosh, those are so beautiful. I know that they're simple, research-based activities designed to boost your child's happiness and emotional well-being. Tell us about them.
So this came from years of talking with parents and parents feeling extremely disempowered with how to hold feelings for their child. I would, you know, do good work with children in my office, but then when the parent would come to pick them up, I would ask, like, do you talk to them about what we're doing? And so many of them felt so disempowered. They were like, no, I don't want to screw it up. Or no, I'm not a therapist. The intention behind this is like an emotional enrichment toolkit. Let's create rituals of resilience. Every parent, no matter what their circumstance, wants the best for their child. They want their child to be happy and they want their child to grow up a successful adult. But so many parents don't know how or where to even start. It's intentionally screen free because we know the growing research about what the screens are doing to our children's brains. And so this is kind of like a guidebook where you have 5 minutes, pull a card. The research behind it is impeccable, but the testimonies are life-changing. So this is like pouring the resources into your child.
Yeah.
But also the parent is getting the benefit because there are pieces of really encouraging parents to reparent themselves.
The combination of not knowing what to do, you're not an expert, so you don't know what's the right or wrong thing to do. Plus, everybody's so busy that you're kind of hitting both of those. You're helping us with both of those as parents.
Well, right. And it's like you don't have time to get onto even log on to a parenting support group. You don't have time to read a book. You know you want to do it differently. You know you don't want to do it like your parents did it. But how do you take that leap? You know, how do you change the patterns and the behaviors? Well, we know that just little bits of change in the long run will create healing.
Karen, tell us, what makes Conscious Care Cards different from what is already out there?
So Conscious Care Cards are based in research. And so they're on 6 different categories. Those are the pillars of resilience. So I really kind of went backwards, knowing that every parent wants a happy child, they want a skilled child, but they also want some sort of guarantee that their child will be a successful adult. So I went from backwards and chose every single category to kind of cover all of those. Cool. But also what is different is this is a caring community. I invite parents to join a membership to really talk about how am I reparenting myself? What are my triggers? What is particularly difficult for me? How was I parented and how are those wounds showing up? And how can I not imprint those wounds onto my child? Right. Sure. So how do we do it differently? Well, what we know is community does it, working and healing in community, feeling like you really belong. And so that's an aspect that's not out there as well. But also in every card, I ask the parent to lean into their own emotional authenticity. Tell a time that you felt similarly. Tell a time that you struggled with that. And having the child see the parent's internal landscape, their emotional narrative, that's where the connection is. That strengthens the bond. It's like you're not a superhero in emotions just because you're an adult. You struggle too. And you're sharing that struggle, not in a like putting it on the child's shoulders, but in a this is what I did, and this is how I gained confidence in this area, and let's gain confidence in emotional intelligence together.
Just a quick word from one of our sponsors.
Leverage your child's love of sports to build lifelong resilience skills. Let the Mind of a Champion program show you how. Check out the link in the show notes for more information.
Now back to the podcast. Karen, what were the 6 topics? Can you
Yes,
maybe just
I would
list
love
those off? Yeah, I'm curious.
So they're empowerment. So a lot about empowering yourself as a parent, but also empowerment of the child. And then resiliency. So really, we know a lot about resiliency and what creates resiliency. And so those are the predicting factors for lifelong happiness. Emotional regulation is another category. So really, let's get down and dirty with the skills. Let's teach the skills, but also let your parent tell you, what skill did you use today? And then connection. So really, that was mostly the neuroscience around how do you feel connected? How do you flood your child with oxytocin? What are you doing? How are you doing it? And then the happiness habits. So because we know so much about, positive psychology now and like what actually makes you happy and how to like steer your brain off of the negative bias, how to focus on the positive. And those are fun. Like all of these activities, there's not a lecture component. It's all fun. It's like get down on the floor, crawl around. All these things are fun and somatic.
Yeah.
And then the last category is caregiver kindness. So those are some journal entries that parents can do to really evaluate their parenting style, see what they're proud of, really focus on what they're doing well, and then what are parenting struggles that are showing up, and how do they look at those without shame.
You kindly sent over some of the cards to us and talking about the fun of it. They really are they're so much fun. Like there was one called Joy Walk, Tuckle Wish, Mirror Work. Those were 3 that I was like, this would be so fun to do with a kid. Do you mind maybe talking us through one of the cards?
Oh, I would love to. I'm going to actually pull a card from the connection category, and it's called the transitional object card. Okay. I did this often because kindergarten separation anxiety was a real thing, right?
Yes. I have a girlfriend who I saw the first 2 weeks of her daughter in kindergarten. She was weeping every morning. So that is, I literally just experienced that through my girlfriend. But sorry, go ahead.
I have a freshman in college who has separation anxiety.
It's true. It's very true. Yes. And I would guess that you also had separation anxiety.
I sure do. Yeah.
So, and I don't think parents get enough space for that. So this is called the transitional object, and every single card really encourages you to first set a setting, like make a cozy environment. So that's kind of the nest, like light a candle, make cocoa, really take a moment to create like a comforting area. All of those rituals are communicating to your child, you're worthy of my love. You're worthy of my time. You're worthy of me taking a minute to finding a lighter to light the candle so we can sit down and talk about this. This is important enough, and you are important enough. Yeah. So the transitional object is helping kids remember that even though their parent, you can't see your parent, you're still connected to your parent. The script asks you to take a piece of twine. If you don't have twine in there, and that's also like, if you don't have twine, use dental floss. Use whatever you have in the house.
Sure.
Put the twine to your heart and talk to the twine and blow in how much you love your child. What do you love about them? What do you miss when they're gone? What is it that really makes your heart feel full? What is a really warm memory? And put that to your heart. Then have them take the twine and do the same thing. Say one reason that you really love your dad. Say one reason you really love your grandma. And then I encourage you to walk 6 feet. And can you still feel that warmth? Can you still feel it in your heart? Yes. Okay. Go around the corner so we can't see one another and tug on the string. Can you feel it in your heart? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, so even though we cannot see one another, we still love one another and our connection is real. And so they come back and then you clip a piece of the twine and you decide, you show your child, I'm going to put it in this pocket today. And so anytime I miss you, I'm going to touch the string. And they're going to do the same.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how many kindergartners showed me their string. Love, it was like magic. Like it
Totally.
Love that.
drastically. Because so many parents, it's like I would deal with the crying kindergartner, but then the parent would come in like, I don't think I was ready for my child to go to kindergarten. You know, like,
Totally.
and they need to deal with that grief too, you know. So this is reparenting them as well, right?
You just mentioned reparenting the parent. Why did you choose that to be such a significant focus on each card?
What we know is that if you're healed enough to be present in your own self, you're going to be able to authentically show up for anyone else, right? Not only your child, but your friends, your partner, your relationships. And so the more access you have to a healed part of you, the more available you will be for your child. There are no perfect parents, but if you can investigate and heal yourself, then you're going to start building confidence. And again, that confidence, you're going to show up more fully. And so it's a really important piece because presence is the healing factor, right? We know that we heal in relationship. And so you have to be here in the relationship in order for the relationship to be strong.
Yeah. You talked a little bit, you touched on the membership part a little bit, but tell us about that membership as part of your mission.
So the membership came from the parents that are conscious, the parents that are really trying to work hard on being more aware. They're feeling really alone. We know that the Surgeon General in 2024 has stated that they're very scared about the mental health of parents. And the number one reason that they're scared is the feeling of isolation. And so getting them together to really talk together about using the cards and how it's been and how hard it is, right? And seeing each other struggle is really going to flood their brain with the chemicals that they need, right? The dose chemicals is what we want. In dose chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, those are the chemicals that create bonding and belonging. And the membership is using the research to really bring that to the forefront.
So Karen, on your website, there are two things that I wanted to talk about. One is your mission, the other is the Give Back program. So you have a mission to help heal 1 million kids by empowering parents to own their impact. Tell us about that mission.
Let's do it. Let's help
Yes.
1 million kids.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like you guys are doing it, right?
We're all trying.
We're all trying. Yep.
Yes. I mean, the thing that is so just breaks my heart is the statistics about emotional health and well-being for our kids. I really do believe that if we raise emotionally intelligent parents, reparent, these parents, they will be able to be present and hold space for their child's emotions. And that can and will be a predictor for a whole generation being able to be resilient, hold feelings, know what to do about overwhelming feelings, not turn to numbing feelings. And if we could change that, we can heal 1 million kids. Like if we can just get people to, put away their devices and be here now for 5 minutes, the healing impact of that is huge.
That mission is so powerful. You also, though, have the Give Back program. So tell us, give us some more details about that, and why was it important for you to have that?
So this is a huge piece of my mission as a social worker. I know, that there are so many parents, no matter where they are in the poverty line or no matter where they are in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they all want the best for their child, but they might not have the resources or access to what's needed in order to show up for their child. And so I don't want cost to be a barrier. As a the director of the associates program, we have 40 partnerships with all of the mental health and treatment facilities out in the Portland metro area.
Sure.
And so I have access to giving a free box every 10 or 20 I sell to parents that might not be able to access it, but that they really want to change their impact. And so they want to own their impact, but they might not be able to afford it.
That is so cool. So cool. Okay. Now I want to sort of take a little bit of a turn, because when Ross sent me the website,
yes,
I was like, I love like just the energy that comes from you, the artwork that's there. And then you sent us some of the cards.
Yes.
And the artwork on the cards reminds me of like a favorite childhood book. Like it all of a sudden just like I'm thrown back into like being a kid, being warm, being cozy, reading the book with my mom and dad. Tell us about this beautiful artwork.
I was so fortunate to have found Jordan Kim. We started meeting at a coffee shop here in the Gorge and we really connected, and her collage work is so beautiful, but she has a history in like natural resources and conservation. And her art is just such a beautiful nod to the natural world around us, kind of going with that same theme, like the taproot theme, like it's the resource. We can be resourced, and it comes across in the tones. She's an amazing woman for sure. I really wanted it to speak to the child in the adult, because with the reparenting theme, right? Like, can you connect back to that child in you?
Yeah,
because that's the purity, right? Like, let's go bring back that purity. And if you can show up in that pure, authentic way, that's the beginning of creating this bond that's going to be the healing factor.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Well, Karen, can you share with our audience how they can connect with you and how they can get more information or purchase the Conscious Care cards?
Absolutely. So my website's just consciouscarecards.com, but we did set up a Conscious Care Cards /podcast. Okay. So if you're listening to this and you want we have it like a free starter kit for just your listeners. And so,
cool. Awesome.
Yes. So if you want to own your impact, because you are your child's most primary healer, come join us in Conscious Care Cards.
We're going to have that link down below. Karen, Ross connected you with us, and thank you, Ross, because I'm sure Ross is listening. So thank you, Ross. And this is just so cool. We really encourage all of our listeners to go and check out her website. I really think that this is such an incredible thing for parents.
With the holidays coming up, this is a great gift for your parent friends. Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
Grandparents, parents, caregivers. Yes, for sure. Let's heal a million kids together. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
That was such an awesome conversation. To my friend Ross Williams, thank you so much for connecting us with Karen.
Thank you, Ross.
Yes, love that conversation. It's so funny when Ross reached out to me, I think I've mentioned it a few times on the podcast. I worked in television for 14 years on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and I was on camera, and very seldomly, people who watched the show would maybe come up to me while I was like at Target or whatever. It didn't happen that often, but every time it did, it kind of surprised me, because I would forget that like me talking to Ellen in those moments actually went like on television and people saw it. And Ross reaching out to me being like, hey, I saw this cool thing that you're doing with your brother. I think I have this person that would be great for you guys to talk to. I was like, wait, people listen to this? So I just think it's so cool that you listen to this. And Karen could not have been a more perfect guest.
It was a great conversation. I think I love everything about the cards. Probably the thing that I love the most about it is the fact it's not an app. Because even if that information was on a phone, that would be helpful. But phones, there's always these pop-up things. They cause, a lot of stress caused by your phone. So the fact you can keep the phone out of the room and then light the candles and have the hot chocolate like Karen talked about, and just have the card with you, that physical card, is probably my favorite aspect of the Conscious Care cards.
You all should absolutely go and check out her website. We're going to have the link here within the podcast notes and everything, because the artwork really does remind me of your favorite childhood book, and just holding that in your hand and being present with your child. And she talked about how like getting out the hot cocoa and lighting the candle, like just those small moments are showing your kid that they are worthy of your time, that they're worthy of your love. And she said it doesn't have to be long. It just has like 40 seconds, I think.
40
she said.
seconds, yeah.
40 seconds. And these are obviously a little bit longer, but they are, the activities she's created are so fun. They're so active. I could see parents and kids just having a blast with these cards.
Yeah, that was great. Karen, thank you so much for sharing that with us in the audience.
Yes, Karen, thank you so much. And thank you, as always, to all of you for listening. I really encourage you to go and check out Karen's website. You can go ahead and click it here where you can get the starter kit that is special for just our podcast listeners.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, that makes me feel really cool. But it really is. She calls it an emotional resources toolkit. It is at your fingertips. I can't wait for you to check it out. Karen, thank you again. And Rossi, thanks again, too, for connecting us.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next month. The Raising Resilient Kids podcast is sponsored by Happy You're Here, educational, safe, and joyful videos for kids. Through music, visuals, and sound, your baby, toddler, and preschooler will learn about letters, numbers, and so much more. Happy You're Here is quality screen time that both kiddos and their adults can feel good about. Head to www.youtube.com/@SoHappyYouAreHere to check it out or click on the link in the show notes.
The Raising Resilient Kids podcast is also sponsored by the Resilient Youth Program. If you're a parent, teacher, or school administrator who wants to incorporate a proven resiliency building program into your school's curriculum, then the Resilient Youth Teach the Teacher program is exactly what you need. This curriculum brings coping skills and life management tools into the school environment to help students better manage daily stress and positively impact their academic performance, mental health, and well-being. For more information, visit the Resilient Youth Teach the Teacher website in the show notes or at www.smarthwp.com/RY4teachers. That's www.smarthwp.com/RY4teachers. The Raising Resilient Kids podcast is produced, hosted, and edited by brother and sister team Tom and Jeannie Klishevitz. Do you have a question you would like answered by one of our expert guests? If so, visit www.smarthwp.com/Raising Resilient Kids podcast. Thanks for listening.